like gacha games? I like gacha games, but more specifically, I like the sound effects that are used in gacha games. And recently, I got to create a similar type of sound effect for this streamer right here. And today, I want to show you how I went about doing that. Let's do it. So I used Faceplant for a lot of this, which is a synth. Looks like this. You can use this synth to do a lot of crazy stuff. We'll get into that in a minute. Let's take the little 3-star, 4-star gacha noise, for example, this one. It's pretty simple. There's quite a few layers here. This one, it's just a whoosh. This one's a whoosh, but it's timed after the first whoosh. So it kind of fades in and holds out longer. Wanted something cool like that. Then down here, we've got some shimmery noises. What tends to work well for elements like this, I've found, is you put chimes together. So basically, the way that Faceplant works is it's got a lot of amazing synthesized potential, but the way I like to use it is you take a sound effect, you put it into the granular synthesizer here, and it's going to play back your sample that you've put in a bunch of little chopped up samples. So you can see these little dots here that are running around. Those are called grains. They're just firing off at whatever rate you set. I've set some parameters here so I can change where they go, like the amount of rate, as you can see, moving up and down there. It changes how fast, how many grains there are, etc. Really, you just take a sample and you start playing around. And basically, this is what I did, was I just sat here and I just kept pressing these keys and recording. And so basically that's how I did that. You see over here, I've got star transient, 1 through 50, because I basically sat here and recorded a bunch of these little shimmers. You get the idea. Recorded a bunch of those, and Faceplant just has an amazing set of parameters. It just adds so many cool textures and things that you can play around with. It's really awesome, and I love it. So I basically just went through and recorded a bunch of those onto tracks, and then I started cutting them up and using them in each of these. So there's like, a shimmer here, there's a shimmer here, there's a shimmer here. There's multiple shimmers there, actually. There's just everywhere. So the wonderful thing about this is it kind of helps the continuity of the sounds that we've created for Saki. All of these sounds kind of sound like they belong in the same place, and it's because I just recorded the same thing like 70 times with different variations. My favorite sound here is the 5-star sound. And whew, that shit hits, dude. It's powerful. So let me show you what I did here. We've got a boom. Big cinematic boom. This just comes from the Soundly library. Then down here, we've got a shimmery beep, which was actually just, I've got a beep preset here that, like, when it's really low, it sounds like sci-fi menu UI noises. When you turn it up really high, it's got this kind of sparkly quality to it. And so I just kind of drenched that in reverb, basically. Things like that. Super shimmered up, and it's really awesome, and I love that. So this is how I kind of did the starry, I call them star transients. It's just the same chime sample we've been using for everything else, but we're using a filter here that controls the gain. So when it's at 0, there's no gain. The gain's at 0 all the way down. You can kind of see it moving here like that. Or there's less gain. And then when it's up all the way, there's full gain. So it kind of creates this whooshy effect. And if I turn it down, you can hear it better. In theory, we could turn this way down and get even more cool whooshy shimmer noises. But I basically used that for all the star transients. And again, I did the same process as before, where I recorded a bunch of them out like this, and then I brought them in. So that's what these are. The beep, and then the shimmeriness there, and then another one here combined with this one. Just kind of adds some variation there. And there's a big swoosh down here. Big stuff. Love that. Down here, another sample that I took from Soundly. This is just the scraping of a weapon against a metal surface or a sword or a knife of whatever some sort. This is kind of that common anime effect, is like they take a sound, drench it in reverb for the tail, not for the sake of space, and then they like use a frequency shifter to kind of go from 0 all the way up to like 2000 hertz up, and it kind of causes this like scooping sound. If I slow it down, you can hear it better. And it creates this really cool texture, because that's what it sounds like without reverb, which is pretty cool on its own. And then you put the reverb on, and it gets this very, like, really, really cool shit. So you put all those together, you kind of scoot them around a little bit so they're not all hitting at the same time, and you get this, which is really sick. So thanks for sticking around for this behind the scenes, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.